Hello everyone. In today's video we are going to learn linked list. So in this video we are going to cover linked list basics, insertion in single linked list followed by implementation of an insertion functions. Linked list is a linear data structure that has a concept of a dynamic memory allocation. In computer science, linked list is widely used in applications in order to improve the space complexity of an algorithm. Unlike an array, it will not have a predefined size. So you can shrink or expand the list as and when needed by just allocating and disallocating the memory. Although nodes are not having the continuous memory allocation, they are logically connected with each other using their address field. And the way they are accessed is linearly, making the linked list as a linear data structure. A linked list consists of nodes where each node has a data field and an address field or a reference field to a next node. Each node holds its own data where the data can be an integer data or a character data, or it can be anything, and the address of the next node, hence forming a chain-like structure. Elements are not stored in a continuous memory allocation. They can be used to implement a stack, queue. Linked list is also used to implement or maintain a chain of records for our student data or for our staff data or for any list. A very good application to mention for a linked list is your contacts application in a phone. The contacts are stored in an alphabetical order. At the moment you insert some contact, it will allocate a memory for that particular contact and will attach it in an existing list at an appropriate position so that it will be in an alphabetical order again. So let us have a look at this. We already discussed that it's a linear data structure. It will have a dynamic memory allocation. It will have this type of structure wherein there would be one head pointing to the whole list. There may be one or more node connected to a list. Each node has its own data field and an address field. An address would be a hexadecimal address, which would be an address of a next node, and that gets stored over here. So we can say it has an advantages over an array. In an array, we used to allocate the memory irrespective of how many blocks we are going to use. Whereas over here, we can allocate the memory and deallocate it as and when necessary in order to expand the list or in order to shrink the list. Now, there are various types of linked list that we are going to study. First one is a single linked list, which is the one that is shown over here, having only data part and an address to a next node. If you are at node with the data value 7, you cannot go back to a previous node. So that is a disadvantages of single linked list, which will be overcome over here in a doubly linked list, followed by which we'll study a circular list, which is again a single linked list but in a circular manner. Now this is the structure. I'll have a header field which is going to store an address. This is a structure of a node wherein I will have one data field and an address field. Header would be initialized to null because initially list is empty. As and when nodes get attached to a list, the header would get a address field. Let us have a look at an operations on a single linked list. We can perform insertion, deletion and traversal operation. In an insertion, we are going to look at three different variants. That is, if you insert the node at the beginning of the list, if you insert the node at an end of an existing list, and if you insert the node at a specific position, say after 5 I am inserting or after a particular data value you are inserting. Similarly, for deletion, we are going to see three variants. How to delete a value which is your first node, how to delete a node which is your last node, and how to delete a particular node. Say I want to delete XYZ node. So in that case, how to find that node and how to delete that particular node, we'll see with animation first, followed by which we will go for its implementation. followed by a traversal. Traversal is nothing but displaying the data of the whole list. That is, we will start our journey from our first node and will continue till the ending of list in order to print the value without inserting or removing the values from the list. Now let us have a look at insert beginning. So I will have a header field which would be initialized to null. When I make call to insert beginning function with the value 10, I mean to say I have to insert a node with a value 10 inside this list. So it allocates a memory. Of course, for this allocation, you need to make use of a malloc function. Malloc function, we will go in detail when we go for its implementation. So memory gets allocated dynamically when you make call to a malloc function. It will give me one data field, one address field. I'll move the data value 10 inside this data field, and initially we will move a null value over here, because in C we have a concept of garbage values. So if you don't store null value over here, it may point to some garbage memory location. So it will be better to store data along with the address as a null whenever you create a new node. So once this node is created, as this is going to be my first node, what we have to do is we will have to update the header in order to point it to this particular node. Consider that the address of this particular node, of course, every time you run your program, this address is going to vary. Consider that for this particular pass, the address of this node is AB4456. So in that case, the address of this node is required to be stored in header. Header needs to know that who is the first node in the list. So that's what we are doing. When header stores the address, header will now point to this particular node. Now let us go for inserting one more node at the beginning of an existing list. Now this is an existing list. Although I have one node or multiple node makes no difference. I have to insert a new node with a data value 20 at the beginning of the list. So as usual, we will create a node. We will make node ready. That is, we will move a data value 20 inside the data field, and we will store a null value inside a null field, followed by which we have to update the head. So we will store the value which was there in a header at this particular location. AB4456 was previously stored in a header, which is stored over here now, followed by which we will go for storing a newly created node's address over here in an header in order to point it here. So this is now my existing list wherein I have inserted the node at the beginning of the list. Now let us insert the value 30 at the end of list. Now in order to insert a value at an end, every time you'll have to start your journey from the first node. The address of the first node you would find in an header field. From an header we are going to iterate till we reach to a node where the address field or a next field is having a value null. We will continue jumping from one node to other unless and until we find a node whose address field is null. So we will create this 30 node as usual. Whenever there is insertion, we will make node ready. We created a node with a data field, an address field. We moved a data 30 inside that. We moved a null value inside that. This is an address for that particular node. Now once we get a last node after iterating, I am over here. I get that 10 is my last node. So what we'll have to do is we will have to get the address of this newly created. We will have to store it over here in order to maintain this link. So the node is inserted at the end of list. Now let us have insertion after a particular value. Say if I want to insert a value 5 after a value 10. So in this case, I'll have to look at the value rather than a null field. Of course, we have to go for checking the null as well, because it may be possible that 10 is a value not present in the list. In that case, we will not be able to insert the value. In this case, I'll have to search for a node with a value 10 inside my list, after which I'll have to insert my new node. So next step would be creating a node as usual. Address is assigned for this particular node. Now we will have to search for a node with the data value 10 right from the beginning. So we will start our journey from the first node. We will keep a pointer p which will iterate through the list in order to find the value 10. So when we are pointer points to first location, we get that the value is 20. So it's not our desired value. Pointer gets incremented to point to a next node. How it gets an address of a next node? From this particular next field. So pointer would now point to this particular node. Now over here it will also do the same thing. It will compare the data. Is it my desired value? Yes, I found my desired value. So what is required to be done? This newly created node is required to be attached after this particular node. So that's what it will do. It will shift the address which is currently stored over here into the address field of a newly created node, so that this node 5 will now point to a node 30. So this address is moved over here, followed by which this arrow would be removed, this next would be removed, and it is going to store the address of a newly created node in order to make this link. Now let us have a look at implementation part. When I say I have to implement it as a node, so a node would be a single object that I'll be making use of. So for that we'll have to create a structure. So a structure node is created. This is of course a user defined structure wherein I'll have a data part, integer type, because I want to store a data, followed by which I want to store the address of a similar type of object. So I have to create a pointer of a node type. If I write int pointer link, that is, if I create an integer pointer, it is going to point to an integer data only. But what I want is, I want my node to point to a address which is of a node type. That's why we need to write struct node star struct node type का pointer will have to create. Once we are done with this, we will have to take a header pointer. Header would be initialized to null because initially list would be empty. Now let us have a look at insert beginning. So first of all, we'll have to go for a memory allocation whenever it's an insert function. So irrespective of which insert we are doing, we will have to go for this memory allocation. So malloc function is an inbuilt function which you'll find it in standard lib.h, which is used to allocate a memory. Now, how is the structure of this function? Malloc function accepts the size of a particular, how much memory is required to be allocated. So if we don't know the size of a node type, in that case, of course, we will not be able to write the size of a structure type. So what we have to do is we have to write the size of operator which determines the size of a thing present in its bracket. So I am writing struct node. So how much memory is required by an object of this particular structure, that much memory is required to be allocated. Memory is allocated, but what type of data it's going to store, that will have to explicitly cast it. So this is going to store a node type of data. So this is a node object. So we are casting it as a struct node star. This is an address, so that's why we are writing, and n is a pointer of this type. So this is going to store an address of a newly created node. So from here on, for all the insertion, we will take n as a variable which is already declared, and it stores a address of a newly created node. Once our node is created, memory is allocated, we have to make our node ready. So this n pointing to a data, that is a data part of n, will get the value which I have brought it in this particular insert function. You can write it over here also. You can write a direct value over here. Link part of n, which is going to store an address, I'll be initializing it with null value in order to avoid the confusion of a garbage collection. Once our node is ready, if we have to check for if this is going to be my first node, I'll have to update the header also, because header points to null. It indicates that list is empty. Now if this is my first node, I'll have to attach it to header. If not, then we have to get the address of header and store it in the link part of a newly created node in order to make a newly created node as the first node, followed by which we will be shifting the header. Now let us have a look at the C code for this. I am making call to an insert beginning function. I am bringing a value over here which is required to be inserted in an existing list. So I took this as a pointer for a newly created node. I am allocating a memory for this using a malloc function, followed by which I am making a node ready by moving a value inside a data part of a newly created node, and by moving a null value inside the address part, that is a link part of a newly created node. So when I did this, it means that my node is now ready. So these four steps are making my node ready. Now we'll have to check for if this is going to be my first insertion. It may be possible that I am making call to this insert beginning as the first call. So in that case, initially list was empty. So if header equal to null, header also should get to know that who is going to be the first node. So that's what we are doing. We are writing header equal to n. So header will store the address of a newly created node. Header will now know that a newly created node is the first node. If this is a first insertion, then and then this part would be executed. For all the subsequent insertions, you insert the node at the beginning. Say the way we inserted node 20 in an existing list, and else part gets executed. So what is there in an else part? Whenever you are coming with a newly created node to be attached in the beginning, you'll have to update the header. So whatever value was stored in the header, that would now be my second node. So that header's value would be copied to a newly created node's link part, and header would be updated to point to a newly created node. So this is an else part which would be executed for any subsequent insertions, any number of nodes you can insert at the beginning. For all that cases, else part would be executed. Let us have a look at insert end function. Now when I say I have to insert at an end, I'll have to traverse till the ending of list in order to find the last node before we go for insertion. So as usual, we will make the node ready by allocating a memory using a malloc function, and would represent my newly created node. We are going to move a data value inside that data field, and we are going to initialize address field with a null value. Now once our task is done, we say that our node is ready. I took an extra pointer p in order to traverse from a first node till the last node, so that we can attach it to a last node. Again, it may be possible that I may have started with the list and I haven't inserted any value, and insert at end may be the first function that I am making call to. So in that case, if header is null, if list is empty and the value that you are going to insert is going to be the first value, in that case this would header would point to a newly created node. So this would be the only node in the list. So this would be used only if this is a first insertion. For all the subsequent insertion, we will have to traverse from our first node till we get the last node in order to find an appropriate position that is at an end for a newly created node. So we initialize a pointer p with header. We will have a while loop which will iterate till we find the address part or a link part of p to be equal to null, which indicates that this is my last node. Now when link part of p is null, does mean it points to a last node. If it's not null, what I'll have to do is I'll have to just shift a pointer to point to a next node. In order to shift a pointer to point to a next node, what we have to do is we will have to get an address from my current node, link part of p, and that will be stored in a p. So current node's link part would store the address of a next node. So this particular statement helps in shifting pointer p to point to a next node. Once we are out of while loop, does mean we have reached to an end of list. Once we are at an end of list, we have to attach a newly created node to a link part of p, which would be null. So for all the subsequent insertions other than the first insertion, whenever we have to insert a node at an end, this else part gets executed. This is particularly used to move a pointer till the end of list. To insert a number at a specific position, we will make use of an insert specific. Say if I want to insert a value 5 after a value 10. So for that also we have to make a node ready. So the steps would remain same, making a node ready irrespective of which insertion you are going. These four statements would remain same for all the insertion methods. Followed by which again the statement inside would change because we need to print the message. Otherwise, for the first insertion also, if header equal to null, you are inserting at an beginning or at an end, the statements would remain same. Now if you are inserting after a specific number and if list is empty, you'll have to print an appropriate message stating that list is empty and desired value after which an insertion is required to be made is not found. So that will just print a message and will return control back to a calling function because this was the first insertion and list was empty. Now if it's not a first insertion, in that case else part gets executed. Now instead of writing link part of p not equal to null, we will write while p not equal to null, just because I want to come out of list, I want to check for the last node as well. If I write instead link part of p not equal to null, in that case it will not enter this while loop for a last node and it will not check for the after value which I have come up with. So it may be possible that 10 is my last node and after that I'll have to insert 5. So in that case, if I write link part of p not equal to null, it will not check for this particular condition. If a data part of p equal to after, does mean I found a desired data. In that case, what we will have to do is we will have to store the address of current pointer p to an newly created node so as to point to a next node, and current pointer p will get a new address which is from a newly created node, followed by which we will have to break this while loop because we don't want to continue once our insertion is done. If this condition is false, does mean the data I am looking for, I haven't found it yet. So in that case, I'll have to just increment p pointer to point to a next node, which will be accomplished by this particular statement. So here is an ending of an else part. Once we are out of an while loop, we'll have to check for if p equal to null. It may be possible that the data I am looking for is not found after which an insertion is required to be made. So in that case, p will reach null, but I'll not get this particular condition true. So in that case, if p equal to null, I'll have to just print a message that desired value after which insertion was required to be done is not found. So we are not going to insert a value inside a list. So here is an ending of an insert specific function. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.